sin reglas ni moral, salvaje, el hombre al que llamaban para hacer el trabajo sucio. ¿Alguna vez te has preguntado cómo fue que murió Revenant? Cuando era humano, antes de ser convertido en la máquina que es ahora. La historia que te contaré a continuación viene del capítulo 11 del libro de Apex Pathfinder Quest, en donde Pathfinder nos narra sobre su visita a Revenant mientras buscaba descubrir la verdad sobre su pasado. El capítulo no cabe en un solo video, así que lo partí por partes, y por cierto, el video tendrá partes censuradas debido a acciones obvias que cometía Revenant. Sin más que decir, ponte cómodo.
Revenant used to be human. He used to be the greatest hitman the mercenary syndicate ever had. He used to look in the mirror and see his human face looking back. But time changes everything, and when his programming finally failed, he saw what he had become at the hands of the mercenary syndicate and Hammond Robotics, a walking nightmare of steel and vestigial flesh. His masters resurrected him as a simulacrum, snatching him from embrace again and again and programming him to forget. He swore he would hunt down every last person who did this to him, but more than 2 centuries have passed, and they're all gone. Or so he thought. The return of Hammond Robotics to the Outlands has renewed his thirst for vengeance, and he won't stop until anybody connected to Hammond is... Of course, he doesn't mind eviscerating a few of the legends along the way. He used to need a reason to but he's not that man anymore. Hello? Hello, is anyone here? It's just me, Pathfinder. Revenant, are you here?
Why?
Whoa, I can hear you, but I can't see you, friend.
Why are you here?
I don't understand this game.
Why are you here, machine?
Because of...
Spit it out.
Why can't I see where you are? You're somewhere to my left.
Am I?
Oh, or my right. How did you do that? And what's skittering on the floor and the walls?
Why are you here?
Because I need answers.
From me?
Yes.
Why?
I need answers from this flash drive about Hammond Robotics. Hello, are you...
Hello.
Ah! You're right in front of me!
Did I scare you?
I can't be scared. I just got startled and my oil pressure started racing and a chill ran up my...
Shut up.
I like what you've done with the place.
What?
I heard Mirage say that once. It's what you say when you enter someone's home.
This isn't my home.
It's where you live.
I don't have a home.
Everyone has a...
Shut up. What do you know about Hammond? Speak. Speak!
But you said...
This isn't Hammond. You don't give a damn about them. This is about her.
Her?
She sent you, didn't she? Let me guess. You're here to distract me while she finds my source code and destroys it. And
I thought you wanted her to destroy your source code.
not before I for betraying me. Not before I her nasal cavity.
That's disgusting.
That's satisfying, is what that is. She promised me she'd put me out of my misery, and then, at the last minute, she transports the source code to another galaxy altogether. It could take decades to recover.
Can't you just go find it? You have an eternity of free time and no other responsibilities.
Sure, just spend the next few decades in transit, while she grows old and happy, knowing she'll never have to see me again. I won't give her the satisfaction, no. If I have to be alive, I'll spend eternity her, as long as I have the shells to respawn.
You can't have an infinite number of shells, though. Eventually they'll run out. What then?
I assume I'll still be a program. I'll find a way.
You assume? You mean you don't know for sure?
I was walking around for 280 years with this face and didn't know it until a piece of glass elevator embedded itself in my neural processor. What makes you think I've ever known anything for sure?
Wait, wasn't it your neck?
Where do you think neural processor is located?
I have my temperature gauges in my neck.
I don't know why I expected a skin bag. Loving ass kisser like you to know anything about. Wait a minute.
Waiting.
How did you know the glass was in my neck?
Because I was there.
You were where?
I was a sous chef de cuisine at 10 May on Olympus in 2708.
And I'm just finding this out now. Were you following me?
What? No.
It's like that cult from the 2560s all over again.
I'm not a cult. I'm a Marvin.
I'm not your messiah, okay? Not your holy grail. And this is the hell I'm damned to.
This isn't hell. This is just an old IMC warehouse under Kings Canyon that Hammond took over.
Not here as in where we're standing. Here as in this world. This galaxy, this whole existence, it's my personal hell.
You think we're all living in your personal version of hell? And what purpose would we serve in hell?
To make me miserable.
Wow, the entire universe and miserable? Everything in it exists to make you miserable?
What other purpose could it serve?
My internal dictionary says that makes you a narcissist.
You're head shrinking me.
I can't shrink your head. Shrink rays aren't real, silly. Well, except for that one prototype made on Gaia back in...
Shut the hell up already.
I used to think you were intimidating, but now I just think you're confusing. What happened to you?
Bite me.
I have tried to be nice to you, friend, ever since you first joined the games. And you're always mean. We have so much in common.
You know I'm not like you.
I'm sorry?
I'm not like you. I'm not a robot.
Yes, you are?
I am made of robotic parts, but my mind, it's human. You're a program. I'm a sentient being.
No, you're not.
I need you to listen very carefully, because in 2 seconds, if you tell me my mind isn't human, I'm going to turn into liquid and use you to strengthen my joints.
But your mind is not human. You don't have a mind. It's just a processor in there that's taking the information found in your old brain, made into Zerdisan ones, and coming to conclusions as to what the human you're based on would say or do in any given situation. It's processing memories, experiences, desires, and characteristics in an effort to best act the way, what was your name when you were human?
Go to hell.
In an effort to best act the way Go to Hell used to act when he was alive. The brain matter is kept in stasis, which preserves its appearance over time in a solution of...
I don't need you to tell me how I was created, dipstick. I know how I was born.
The way all simulacra are born.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No.
Why would you be born any differently than simulacra that came before you?
Because there were no simulacra before me. Finally, you shut up.
You were the first?
And only. Took them 20 years to even get me operational.
Where were you?
Don't know. On a slab is my guess. Storage closet, maybe?
I'm sorry.
I don't give a damn about your sympathy.
But you're a victim.
I'm a...
Millions. That's what you say. You've millions of people. But that math doesn't add up. The number of people you would have to daily would be astronomical.
In real life, in my mind, in my dreams, does it matter? Every second of every moment I'm killing something. My life is doomed to be spent drowning in putrid misery. It's in every crevice, every orifice, dried, flaking, the color of human waste. I've been condemned to it. Appropriate. So what if I want to drag the world down with me into the muck? I dare you to find a skin bag who wouldn't in my shoes.
What happened to you?
The Mercenary Syndicate and Hammond Robotics happened to me.
No, before that, when you were human.
Does it matter?
Everything matters.
I was a skin bag for 44 years. I've been this for 313 years. What makes those 44 any more important than the 313 that followed?
Because you were human. You had emotions and a conscience.
You're making a whole lot of assumptions about a guy who used to people for a living.
So what happened to you? That first time you're human, how did it happen? Maybe you didn't hear me. I asked how you...
Can't believe it's you.
What? Is that your answer? That doesn't make sense.
I don't know who I thought it would be, but it sure as hell wasn't you.
Wouldn't be me who... What?
Who asked me that? The first time You're the first person in 313 years to ask me that question. Nobody has ever asked me, and I always wondered. But no one ever did, until you. I can't believe it's you.
Maybe more people would ask if you didn't them first.
Maybe. Let me see that flash drive.
You're helping me. This is a surprise.
Contain your excitement. Who knows? Maybe there's something about Hammond on here that can help me obliterate them.
Maybe you do love me after all.
I hate your head right now. But it's no fun if you can't feel real. Here it is. The Olympus explosion caused the rift anomaly. Everyone, no suspects, no motives. Case remained open for decades before they shut it down. Unsolved. Wasn't me. Can't help you.
What?
I wasn't on Olympus in December of 2658. I was on Gia. You never forget your first time with twins.
I didn't think you did it. You have no reason to do it.
Who needs a reason to...
I think most people would need a very good reason to kill somebody.
That's limiting.
Why would Hammond want to cover up what happened to these scientists?
Because they're liars, like every other skin bag walking around out there. They tell you one thing, and then you turn your back for a second, and she takes all hope away from you.
Oh, this is about Loba again.
It never stopped being about her.
It's interesting that you feel betrayed by her removing the thing that gave you hope, considering that's what you did to her when she was a girl.
What did you just say?
Whoa, the tone in your voice changed when you said that. That was a little scary.
Why would you say that to me? Unless you are on her side.
I'm just observing the coincidence that she did to you. What you did to her 25 years ago.
Get out.
But things are going so well.
Are they?
I understand. Let me just...
Why are you reaching into that bag? What are you doing? Do you have a weapon?
I wanted to take a selfie, that's all. Let go of me.
Is this how it's supposed to go? Two mechanical men, all buddy-buddy. I let my guard down. And then what? Loba makes her presence known. Where is she? Is she down here too?
You and I are the only two operational beings down here, and Loba didn't send me. Crypto and Horizon did... kind of.
You're lying. I know it's her. Everything's connected to her. Entertained her little vendetta in the beginning because I thought I could at least play with my food for a bit before devouring it. But then something truly evil happened.
She started winning?
She isn't winning, Jackal. Do you hear me? I win. She's up there right now in that ship, plotting and scheming against me. And that's still not enough. I'm the one who's going to win here, not her. She's crazy, you know. She's obsessed.
I saw Loba 3 days ago.
And I bet all you heard about was demonia this and demonia that.
She never said your name.
Exact. Wait. What?
She never said your name. Hold on. I'll check the transcript. Nope. Not even once.
I'm the whole reason she's even here at all. Every single move she makes is all about me. Me.
Can't imagine where I got the idea that you're a narcissist. Oh my gosh, I did it! I sarcasmed. I finally got it right. I can't wait to tell all my friends. Why are you looking at me like you're going to do bad things to me?
Am I funny to you, robot?
Not particularly.
You came down here, to my lair, to mock me.
I came down to find out about Hammond Robotics.
And find out who these geeks.
Yes!
Why?
Because I think I was Project Iris. I think they were building me to do something great.
Do you now?
Yes, that is what they said on the footage. They built me for a great purpose.
They built me for a great purpose too.
That's a terrible purpose.
If you had a central nervous system, I would take so much pleasure in what happens next. But no, you would be no fun.
I wouldn't think so.
But there are other ways to inflict harm. Oh yes, this be fun. I'll ask you something, Pathfinder. You think terrible can't be great?
No, of course not.
You sure about that?
Terrible is terrible. I'm not terrible.
What if you were?
But I'm not.
What if you were? Humor me. You know, alternate realities, like the ones Wraith goes to. The one you went to, where there's a version of me running the show.
Yes.
Let's take a trip to one of those realities.
I'll call Wraith immediately.
No, in our imagination. Let's go to a reality where you're built for something great and terrible.
That's impossible. Wraith told me I'm a constant. I'm the same in every dimension.
Damn. Maybe this won't work.
Of course, Crypto pointed out that I can be reprogrammed.
I spoke too soon.
You keep saying things, but I don't think you're talking to me.
So you understand you can be reprogrammed to do other things besides the things you do.
Apparently so.
Good. That's good. So you think you're Project Iris?
Bangalore doesn't think so. She thinks if Project Iris had been about building a Marvin, she and Jackson would have known. Jackson loved robots.
He sure did. So tell me, what was Project Iris doing besides not building Marvins?
They were solving the energy crisis using a substance known as branthium, which is found on Talos.
How do you fit into all this?
Don't know. That's what my quest is about. Did you not know in looking for my creator?
I must have missed it the first 10,000 times you've mentioned it.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Let me get you up to speed then. I'm looking for my creator, friend.
Yeah, you have a real grasp on sarcasm.
Thank you!
The pleasure will be all mine. So, a bunch of scientists invented a new source of energy that gets where it's supposed to go and does what it's supposed to do. That's pretty self-explanatory. Why will they need a Marvin?
Why else would I have been there?
Good question.
Thanks. I only have 3 questions left to answer, and then my quest is complete.
What was your purpose? Who created you? And what's the third question?
Who the group of scientists?
Pathfinder, there it is.
What's there?
The answer to all a question. It's right in front of your noseless face, and it's been there the whole time. And bless your heart, you're too sweet and naive to see it.
Well, what is it?
I can't. It's too cold, even for me.
But you're my friend, and friends tell each other everything.
You're right, I am your friend, and I should tell you, but I don't know.
Bangalore warned me about not wanting to hear all sides of a story. And Watson, she warned me about details sneaking up on you. That things I thought wouldn't be important would be. They both warned me I'd hear things that would make me unhappy.
And they were right. This will make you very, very unhappy.
I'm ready for this. I can do it.
You're very brave. But first, I have a story for you.
Story time. I love story time. Crypto and Caustic didn't give me one. What's it about?
It's the story you asked me to tell you in the first place. I wasn't ready to tell it before, but I am now. I can't wait to tell you this story. Get ready, Pathfinder. This will be a very meaningful story indeed. Once upon a time, there was a man named Bob Woods. Bob was a good man. He went to work every day at the city planning office. He worked in water filtration. He came home and read books to his 2 kids. He had a beautiful wife who probably cooked him dinner every night of the week because it made her happy. There was nothing but love and laughter every day for Bob. But then one day, Bob went to work. It was a day like any other day. Only on this day, Bob saw something he wasn't supposed to see. He saw his boss, who worked with a bunch of other men in a group of sorts, like a cabal or a commission, or a syndicate, if you will, and they were roughing up a guy who owed them money. Only this guy, he was roughed up a little too hard, and accidentally. Now, this wouldn't have been a big deal, except the dead guy's father was involved in some business dealings, and, well, the details don't matter. Suffice it to say, if Daddy found out this syndicate his son, a lot of people would lose a lot of money and their lives, and the syndicate couldn't have that. So they came up with a plan to dispose of the body to make it look like the dead man had skipped town. Except Bob witnessed the entire conversation. Bob knew the truth, and Bob accidentally knocked a box of paper clips off a desk when he ran out of the office. The men from the syndicate heard the noise and followed. Bob was able to escape, but the syndicate men vowed to find him, so they called the man who fixed everything for them. His name was Kaleb Cross. Kaleb had no morals, no values, no regard for human life whatsoever. When these men were in trouble, Kaleb Cross would do the things they couldn't do. Now, not everyone involved in this syndicate was a bad person. Some of them believed in honor, a code. Some of them wanted to help people. But even the good ones had to do bad things once in a while. Even the good ones sometimes had to call Cross. But on this fateful night, it was the bad men who called Cross and gave him a job. Make sure Bob never told the truth about what he saw and what he heard. Bob went home and told his wife what he had seen. She told him to go to one of the good men at the syndicate. Tell them the truth. Bob was scared, but his wife, name was Meredith. She knew the good men at the syndicate would help him. So, Bob went to the good men of the syndicate and told them what he witnessed. They were understandably upset, and they had the bad men who set these terrible wheels in motion taken away, never to be heard from again. Bob had done the right thing in life once again, and the bad people were caught, and Bob felt good about his decision. He went home to tell the woman he loved with all his heart that it was over, and the bad men were caught. When he walked in his front door, the scent of dinner coming from the dining room, he was greeted by his on the floor of the foyer. The rest of her was seated around the dinner table, and Kaleb Cross was at the head of the table, the butcher's knife still in his hand. Honey, I'm home. Horrified, Bob barely got away from Cross and raced to the school where his kids had evening band practice. He grabbed them and made immediate plans to go to Gaia, putting in for a transfer to their city planning office in water filtration. Why Gaia? Gaia had a police force. They would protect him and his kids. When they got to the rocket port, The kids were cranky, crying. They didn't understand what was going on. He bought 3 tickets to Gawia. When they arrived, the first place he went was to the Gaia Global Task Force. He told them everything, and the fine, upstanding men and women of the Gaia Global Task Force assured him they would protect him and his kids. They set Bob and his children up in a safe house. Bob tucked them into their beds, hiding his tears, avoiding his fears, promising them they would start a whole new life in the morning. He woke up the next day to the sun shining, the birds chirping, and the kids starting their brand new life or afterlife. They didn't last the night, unfortunately. They died of a terrible case of Kaleb Cross in the closet. Bob knew his fate, and with no family and nothing left to live for, he didn't run. He dropped to his knees, tears streaming down his face. He begged Cross to make it fast, but Cross said he wasn't going to kill Bob. Bob was going to live, knowing his family would be alive today if he had just kept his mouth shut. Suddenly, the safe house was surrounded. The Gaia Global Force had come to save the day. The cavalry had arrived, and Kaleb Cross was arrested for the murder of 2 juveniles on Gaian property. Once again, Bob had hope. He had no family, but there at least would be brought to justice. Unfortunately, that is not the way of the world. The Syndicate pulled some strings, and the charges against Kaleb Cross were dropped. Bob learned about it the night before Cross's release from Task Force custody. And boy, was Bob upset to hear this. He just couldn't catch a break, so he came up with a plan. The next day, Kaleb Cross was freed. He walked out into the sunny Gaian air, surrounded by Syndicate mercenaries. He returned to his hotel, where he poured his usual scotch to celebrate another mission accomplished. He never tasted the clear liquid that had been carefully placed on the bottom of the glass, the liquid that left him unconscious minutes later. The last thing he saw was Bob stepping out of the hotel room closet, watching Cross slip into unconsciousness from afar. The irony of this insignificant, forgettable, underestimated little man being the first person to ever get the jump on him was not lost on Cross as he passed out. But Bob was pushed to his limit. Bob couldn't let this monster walk free. Bob had had enough. When Cross woke up, he found himself tied up and lying on a catwalk overlooking a large room full of vats of something more awful than anything Cross had ever smelled in his life. Bob was nearby, pointing at him. He asked Cross why he had done this to him. Why had he not only his wife and kids, but gleefully them along the way? Cross smiled. "It's my job," he said simply and matter-of-factly. Cross knew that Bob would never him. He didn't have the nerve. Not like his wife and kids. They had guts, knowing the mental image that would put in. Bob's head caused Cross to laugh at his own joke, and he couldn't stop. He laughed and laughed and laughed some more. That was when Bob snapped. He dropped the gun, grabbed Cross, and dragged him across the catwalk to one of the nearby vats. "Know what this is?" Bob asked. Without waiting for an answer, he explained that this was the city's sewage filtration facility. This was where all the sewage for Zaldana City went. It sat in these vats, where it got filtered and processed, ultimately turning back into clean water. But at that moment, it was the opposite of clean. It was where everything that got flushed down the toilet went. That was what was in these vats. That was where Cross belonged. As Bob grabbed Cross by his ears and plunged his head fully into one of the vats, the last thing Cross thought before his head was submerged was that he had been wrong earlier about how vile the smell was. It was 100 times worse, and for the first time since his nightmare started, Bob smiled. He was smiling when the body stopped convulsing and Cross took his last gups, his lungs filling with that of which we do not speak. He was smiling when he stood up and walked out of the facility, and he was still smiling when the Syndicate mercenaries who were supposed to protect Cross pulled up and fired a storm of bullets into his body directly outside the facility. Then time they raced in and whisked Cross's corpse to the nearest Hammond Robotics location. But the rest of Cross's story is for another day. This is the story of Bob. Bob was a very good man, and this is the story of how a very good man, a fellow man in bile and waste and, well, you don't need me to spell it out for you. And he did it happily, before he, an awful and bloody himself.
That's a horrible story.
I know.
That's the worst story I've ever heard.
I know.
Why would you tell me that story?
Because you asked.
No, I mean, what does that have to do with the search for my creator?
Isn't it obvious?
No.
Because you have to understand that very good people can do very bad things and enjoy it.
Bob didn't enjoy it. He didn't enjoy any of it. He smiled out of relief, not fun.
Potato.
This has nothing to do with potatoes. What are you trying to tell me? That good people do bad things?
Good people, even good robots.
What?
It happens all the time.
Somebody else was there. Somebody else killed them.
Every scientist is accounted for. Every corpse was logged. It's all right here on the flash drive. They were all found.
Yes.
There was no record of anyone coming in or out of the building. The Branthium was successfully delivered and got where it needed to go. So clearly their deaths had nothing to do with that.
I suppose not.
So why else would they have been?
I don't know.
Don't you know? Deep in your programming, don't you know the answer already?
No.
It was you, Pathfinder.
No.
Maybe you were reprogrammed by somebody. Maybe you malfunctioned. Maybe there was a glitch. Whatever it was, something went wrong.
I didn't. I couldn't.
You have no proof of that.
Bangalore said I couldn't harm a fly.
Everybody can harm a fly. You silly computer. Everybody has harmed a fly at some point in their life. Even you.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, you do. It's in the trembling of your voice. You've known this was possible from the very beginning. You've always known that to be true, even if you didn't want to say it out loud. Your friends did too. They'd couch it in jokes, insist they were kidding. But everyone knows that, with your size and weight, you could a human being in half a second.
Bangalore did make a joke about it when I talked to her.
See, you can't lie to me, Pathfinder. I know how easy it is to a skin bag because I do it all the time.
I'm not you.
Keep telling yourself that. But tonight, when you return to your little warehouse, run your diagnostics, recharge your batteries, ask yourself, why did they never catch the killer? Or wouldn't they ever again? Why is it so important to you to find them? Why does it matter so much? And realize the answer is that deep down, it was never about finding a creator. It was about finding yourself, Pathfinder. Your missing memory of ending all those lives. And the realization that there doesn't have to be a motivation. You're a machine. You do what you're told to do. Motive is irrelevant. It was out of your control. Their death and your quest to uncover the truth about their is as senseless and meaningless as it is irrelevant.
No!
Yes, that's what this has all been building to. All these years looking for your creator. All the hopes and dreams and promises of a reunion. It's all led to this. You ended their lives, Pathfinder. Your programmer probably forgot to carry a 1, and because of that, you high-fived them and accidentally their skulls. Oops. That's it, friend. That's how this ends. It means nothing. You're nothing. Welcome to the real world, bucko.
I have to go. I'm leaving. I can't.
I must thank you, Pathfinder. This is the most fun we've had in a very long time. Don't forget your flash drive.
I have to go.
No high five. Oh, goodbye, friend.